nade that. Oh my god.
I fucked up the satchel.
One enemy remaining.
Time to jump.
He fucking juked him out, dude. He
There's
fucking
no way.
juked him
There
out.
is no way. There is.
Don't you just love the outplays? What's up, guys? Veteran Gamer here, and today I'm doing a State of Valorant in 2021. For the uninitiated, or for those who just for some reason lived under a rock and just don't know, Valorant is a game developed by Riot Games, the same developer as League of Legends, and it was released June 2020, and it's taken the gaming world by storm. This is a game that is on the rise. This is a game that a lot of people have had eyes on it, and this is a game that you should be playing in 2021, and I'm going to tell you why. First and foremost, if at its core, this is a game that's 5v5, mirrored in the world of Counter-Strike. First team to win 13 rounds wins the match. The shooting mechanics are quite literally ripped right from Counter-Strike. The Overwatch element that people have said, oh, this is like Overwatch, is only in the form of the characters and the abilities that come with them. As opposed to your standard Counter-Strike utility, you have wacky abilities and ultimates that are exclusive to each individual character. As you already heard me say, this game mirrors a lot from Counter-Strike. And unfortunately, if you are not a Counter-Strike fan, you may not like this game. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't at least give it a shot. I mean, come on. This is Riot Games, and the game is free to play. Like, if I'm gonna be honest with you, how do you not try any game that's free to try? Like, it doesn't hurt you to try it. It costs you nothing to try it. And this game, it's growing in popularity. It's always in the top 10 in Twitch. A lot of players from both Counter-Strike and Valorant and Overwatch are both coming over from the pro scene. This game is going to grow. It's Riot. They're going to support the game. This game is absolutely fantastic. It is so fun, so addicting. There is room to do so many different things that it's hard not to enjoy this game. Don't get me wrong. Sure, it's free to play. Sure, it's pretty well balanced. You know, other than one character that is deemed like the weakest character, every character in this game is viable in pretty much every situation. You know, no one's gonna really fault you for picking character A or character B. It's a well balanced game. The guns are well balanced. The content, there's a steady stream of content. New characters come out every 2 months. Since launch, the game has already had 3 new characters, not including Reyna and as well as the Ascent map, which debuted on launch day from closed beta. The game has also received 1 map in Icebox. This game in 2021, it is probably going to start toppling like other shooters in a space where there's so many shooters and to choose from. This is going to be one of those ones. Like, Counter-Strike is one of the most popular shooters, if not the most popular shooter of all time. It is argued to be the best shooter of all time. You know, and the fact that it is still relevant today after how many years, 15, 20 years, however long that game's been running. This game mirrors a lot from there, and you can see why they would do such a thing. Some of the devs that were working on this game were actually former Counter-Strike pros. So they know what they're doing. You know, I talk about how this game is fun. I talk about how it's free to play. I talk about how, like, you can basically pick any character you want and have a good time. There's a steep learning curve. But this game is not perfect. No game is. And for this game in particular, there's 2 flaws that come to mind. One of these flaws is a flaw that's not actually even with the game itself, but with something that it's attached to. And the other one as well is just a problem with the game. So I'll start with that one. The problem with Valorant, the main problem is this is not a casual friendly game. Like, I'm going to be honest. Yes, they have an unranked mode, But one typical match of unranked is a 30 to 40 minute match. No lie there. It's a 30 to 40 minute match. Ranked matches are the exact same length. Could be a little bit longer because you have to win by 2 in ranked. But from a casual perspective, if you don't play this game regularly, you're not gonna it's gonna be hard for you to play because there's the recoil, there's the balance, there's learning the characters. I mean, from a casual, if you play this like a 1 or 2 games a week or what have you, you're just not gonna fall into it. It's one of those games that the more you play it, the more addicted you get to it. As like any game, like Overwatch and other hero-esque shooters out there, when you learn and master a character, you learn all the nuances and all the little cheeky things that you can pull off. But simultaneously, you're also talking about, for a casual audience. That's what makes Overwatch and games like Call of Duty so great. If you have 1 hour to play, you can hop on and play 4 or 5 matches in an hour. In Valorant, one unrated match is, like I said, 30 to 40 minutes. You get 1, if you're lucky, you can get 2 in a single hour. They do have the other modes like Deathmatch as well as Spike Rush, but those modes are kind of equivalent to that of what the arcade modes would be like of Overwatch, where it doesn't give you a firm experience of what the game is like at its core experience. Yes, it's it's far more casual, and the matches are quicker, but you're not getting the core Valorant experience in those modes. In order to get the core experience, you got to play unrated or rated, and like I said, for a lot of players, 30 to 40 minutes, it's not that good for that. So that's one problem, but that to me is a small problem because even casually, if you got like a 2-hour window, you can get like 3 matches in. And as you saw in the first clip, as you see throughout the gameplay in front of you, this game can be incredibly exhilarating. When you pull off a big brain play or you clutch up a round, it is so satisfying. And there's not many games that are like that. Counter-Strike is one of those games where if you clutch up a round, you get the same feeling. This game is not so much like that, but not so much. But let's get to the other issue with this game, and it's an issue, like as I said, it is not an issue that is part of the main game. It is outside the game, and that is this game's anti-cheat software. For those of you who don't know, the anti-cheat software, which is Riot Vanguard, this anti-cheat, not only does it run on kernel level, but it boots on startup. So even if you're not playing Valorant, you have this anti-cheat. It is active, and there's nothing you can do about it. You can turn it off if you're not going to play Valorant. You can turn it off and just be like, all right, I'm not going to play Valorant today, I can turn it off. But if you decide to play Valorant another time, in order to reactivate the anti-cheat, you have to turn it on and then restart your computer in order to play the game. I have friends who are interested in this game, who would like to play this game, but will not touch it because of the anti-cheat. They find it intrusive, they don't like how it automatically boots, and each to their own. I totally understand, and you have some who say, oh, the China, they're just trying to spy on you. I get it. I totally get it. And for those players, I respect your decision, but you're missing out. You're missing out on a great game. And I don't know if Riot will ever change their stance, but, cheating is an issue in first-person shooters, especially competitive ones. I know, games like Warzone and Rainbow Six Siege, cheaters are a prominent thing in those games. And although cheaters still do get in on Valorant, it's, Riot's anti-cheat is not foolproof, but it is better than basically all the other anti-cheats. And it's a double-edged sword, right? Like, yeah, you have it, but if it means maintaining competitive integrity of a game, you kind of want to keep that integrity. So if that is a deal breaker for you, I'm sorry to hear that. You're going to be missing out. But this is a game that everyone in 2021 should at least try. If it's not for you, it's not for you. You know, no game is for everybody. I know Grand Theft Auto is a popular game. I don't like Grand Theft Auto. But when it's a free-to-play game and it's made by a developer who has a history of supporting their games, and their games from a competitive standpoint is one of the top games in League of Legends, you can see that Valorant being in that same bracket. You know, like I said, it's top 10 on Twitch almost all the time. It's growing in popularity as time goes on. You know, obviously a game like this does have toxicity. I spoke about this in my state of Overwatch. It exists here. You know, you're gonna have your leavers, you're gonna have your throwers, you're gonna have your abusive chats, and that's in every game. It's unfortunate, but it's there, and there's nothing like we as a community. You can't really do much other than report them, mute them, try to ignore them, but you know, that's always going to be a thing. But other than that, this game is like near perfect from a PvP standpoint. You know, it is very well balanced. The selfish one-trick problem that is prevalent in Overwatch is not a problem here in Valorant. And a big reason for that is in Valorant, because every character has the same hitbox, same health pool, same weapons available to them. You're talking about, you know, a much more balanced experience. So when someone wants to one-trick a given character, because virtually every character is viable in virtually every situation, it doesn't really matter. Obviously, once you reach the highest ranks, you know, Immortal, Radiant, Diamond, yeah, sure, you know, having a more balanced composition is probably better than running something like a triple duelist with no controller. Obviously, if you don't have a controller who can block line of sight, you know, the operator wielders, the operator sniper rifle, they're just going to run wild on you, and you're just going to get demolished in the highest tiers of play. But anything below, I would say Diamond for sure, there's no real meta. Even though there is one, there isn't. Just because of how balanced the game is, that virtually every character, with the exception of one, which Riot is currently trying to improve upon, is viable. Like, you can pick whoever. It doesn't matter. The composition doesn't matter, because what matters the most is communication, team coordination, game sense, and mechanical skill. Where Overwatch, the abilities and the rock, paper, scissor-esque nature of that game clouds clouds that game, and you do have selfish one-tricks that ruin the experience and make that game a coin flip. Where that game has a 50-50 shot of whether or not you're going to have a good experience, Valorant, in my experience, is like 80% positive. Only 20% of the time I have a bad experience, and that'll be because of like toxic players or whatnot, not because of somebody one-tricking a character. So the way I see it, if you have a capable PC, it doesn't require much. If you have not tried this game and the anti-cheat, the way it operates, does not really bother you, by all means, try this game. You might fall in love with it, and you might get addicted. If you don't, if you play a few rounds and you're like, you know what, this game's not for me, it costs you nothing. It costs you nothing, and it's very hard for me not to recommend anyone playing this game in 2021. The future is bright for Valorant. I look forward to more of what they have in store. This is, you know, my second favorite shooter next to Overwatch. I highly recommend it. You know, I hope to see you guys next time. Like and subscribe, and I hope to see you in the world of Valorant sooner than later. Peace out.